Hey, welcome back. I am so glad that you guys are tuning back in here with me. I'm excited to get started and talking about this one, and I'm going to say that this topic of friendship encouraged me the most to dive into. It's such a touchy topic because we go from the understanding that is besties for life, and we are going to grow and live our lives together, into the adult stage, the young adult stage, where you may have your first fallout, your first incident where things are hard or tough and you have to work through it, to real life events, marriage, children, funerals, and parties. The difficulties is very complex. There's no one size fits all. And so it's so easy to get into confusion and not understand where the line is. And we got to talk about it. And someone who just did it so well, I'm very late to the game. B. Simone this summer did an infamous interview with her and her friend on her podcast, Let's Try This Again. And I remember when this came out, I was on my hiatus. I'm pretty sure it was in August. I am a Leo, so I was celebrating and rejuvenating. I enjoy birthday season. If you have no other excuse to take care of you, you better take care of yourself on your birthday. I don't care if it's not being with anyone. You got to do stuff that you love to do. So please, if your birthday is coming up and you don't have no plans, make a plan to do something for yourself of enjoyment. That's law. You got to do it. So I'm in my hiatus and I'm enjoying my time off because I'm a summer baby. So tans, beach, and ice cream, something in those vicinities I'm doing. And the internet, I love the internet, which is now our latest newscast, highlights this one clip of B. Simone and her friend. And her friend, it was pretty much her highlighting her friend. And so if you haven't seen the clip already, the clip pretty much broke it down where her friend was talking about a difficult season in her life. And so she's being very candid about what she was going through. I guess she had to, she was going through something financially, and she got to the point where she had to go get government assistance because it was just super bad. I don't know if she has kids or not, but it got crazy. And yeah, she was going through it. Once she continued to talk about how she was going through it, B. Simone is kind of just giving her space to talk about it, but she's also giving reactions of she's B. Simone, so, she's talking about, I have to get on government assistance. She's in the background, like, Jesus, like, she's giving all this commentary. So as she's giving all this commentary, the internet ate her up because her friend begins to describe how this time was so crazy because I'm going through all of this and I'm watching you give out checks left and right, and I had to really swallow that and just go trust in God and know that this was my season. And so the response of social media, what I saw was a lot of people were so outraged at B. Simone for not sending her friend money and helping out her friend. And of course, that was the general that was the general response. There we go. I don't know why I keep trying to say that word. It was the general response. But I was like, now I need to listen to the whole interview because I have to listen to this whole interview because why is her disconnect so apparent? So as the internet was just in such an uproar, I just assumed that B. Simone would address, what her mindset was at during that period of time and go forward. Now, I have to add in that I've always known about B. Simone. I remember her content. She's been out for a long time, so she has her platform and her people, and she's always been, not afraid to get out there. It's the best way to kind of bundle her up because she does a lot. Her content covers a lot of aspects and areas. And so I finally sat down. I watched the interview. I may do live snippets because I could stop it every second. But this is why I am making friendships to be involved in the big four. Because as I listened to this interview, I got more and more information about who B. Simone was. I got more information about who her friend was, meaning just as they're speaking, as they're sharing their story, there are just all these characteristic traits that are pouring out about them. And it helped me piece together why they are friends and why they continue to be. This interview was so helpful because I'm not going to get into, tit for tat about, oh, she could have did this or that. I want to just highlight what these two girls, look like in terms of friendship. Because beyond her talking about her hardship, she also expressed how she was really into, she's on her spiritual journey. She's very comfortable with the Lord and his work. I believe she's very involved in church. She's also very close to B. Simone. They've taken very, serious ventures. Again, for their personal lives, whether they have children or if they're dating. I know they talk about it, but I don't know it. So they have all those aspects going on. And then they have this main goal, which is they're doing business together. So they definitely have this dynamic where she has these huge moments of boldness and she's not afraid to put her foot down and tell B. Simone what she thinks and how she feels. And then there are these moments where she doesn't have to wear that bold face. She gets to be soft. She gets to let B. Simone lead. And that plays a lot out in their business relationship. She is helping her in certain aspects and she, specializes in her spiritual aspects. So I think their friendship is even. And as we hear B. Simone's side about how she feels friendship in general is going for her, as she's trying to maintain friendship as she grows her business, she has a lot of shifting and moving parts in her life. And I'm glad she expressed her experiences, which she broke down. And she said that during that time, not specifically during her friend's hardship, but just in the previous, year, I believe she said she had these experiences where she was giving out money and she had to learn that new boundary about what it means to give and what you're expecting and what you need to receive versus what you actually get and all those good things. And so as B. Simone is sharing that part, the picture became clear. If you related to B. Simone or if you related to her friend, could you be in a friendship that you have now outgrown? Could you be in a friendship that is highlighting the areas that you desperately need to improve on? Could you be in a friendship that just is not aligned with goals and the trading bargains that you two used to do no longer serve what you're trying to accomplish now? And that young lady, if they should stay friends, I'm not here to decide that. I think they did a beautiful job at displaying how difficult friendships can be, how hard it is to either keep your boundary while someone is going through something and vice versa. And it shows what the emotion, what the energy, what the results of surviving hardship, what that would look like. Kudos to them. I'm really proud of them. And as we tie into QME Health, we're looking at what is our energy and our friendships. Are we experiencing friendships that don't make us feel good when we leave their conversations? Are we experiencing friendships that make us feel guilty or shame us, depending on the acts that we're getting into? Maybe we once were really careless about, or we really didn't have strong opinions on how we partied or how we stayed home or how we interacted with certain groups of people. And now, based over time and maturing and growing, we no longer hold those values. The difficulty to decide how much do we fall back, how much do we keep close, how much do we search for new people. That's what this space is for, because there's no one fit size all answer. And the best way to figure that out, the best way to find what that really is for you, is to check in with yourself by knowing yourself. I think friendships are non-sexual, and if you are having any type of sexual or intimate relations with a friend who has not agreed upon a title, that's just a situationship. So friendships are people who are supposed to be your community. They are the ones who you are thinking of first when you want to go try a new place or go out to eat or take a day off. You are the person that they go to when you want to check out a new movie or go to a theater or go out to a new state or city. These are the people that you go to. These are the people that you try. Signs that your body is telling you it's time to take a new route in friendship. Toxic is often described as something that is clearly not beneficial. That could be the excessive drinking or the smoking. That could be excessively partying or not taking care of yourself with sleeping. Maybe you're staying up at all hours of the night. Maybe you are in this extreme dietary change. So, and it doesn't come from like your doctor. You're just sporadic time of the month or the moment. These are things that anyone who's looking from the outside in, they're going to say, oh, this is toxic. But not being able to identify that in yourself, by yourself, it becomes a gamble. And the gamble is when you start making little considerations about, okay, I see that this is not the best thing for me, but you're blurring the lines. You're allowing things to become a little hazy. That's when people tell you you're experiencing confusion. It's becoming a little difficult. These are the signs that are letting you know maybe this is hard for you to handle. Maybe this is a difficult experience to process, and you may need to take more time, take more precaution to work through this experience, this emotion, this feeling. It has to be addressed. And the longer we why I have put sweeping things under the rug, you have to address your elephants in the room, because it drives you crazy when you don't. When you don't stand and speak for the things that are painful and bothering you and making you feel less than, not accepted, these things are weighing you down, keeping you foggy. You're not moving in the best version of self. And the more you not only address these things, but you speak on these things, you stand on what is actually aligning for you, you feel encouraged, you feel confident, you get strength to do harder things and more challenging things, and you'll find out that you actually have the courage and confidence to do it. So I don't want to take it lightly. I don't want to make it as if it's a task that if you do it for 2 days, your whole life is going to change and now you got a bag in the bank. Unfortunately, I don't have those type of trickery answers. But I do have real life experience that when I decided to no longer allow the lies to be the excuse, the justification, the reasoning to stay, the reasoning to keep fighting, you have to get back in check, get regulated, calm your central nervous system down. Those are often helped by the easiest and most accessible techniques, which are eating right, healthy things, salads, fruits, veggies, proteins, watching your carbs, watching the sodium intake, and being conscious about that, whether that is taking vitamins, irons, B12, zinc, adult gummies, you name it, heart support, blood support, you name it. There is some type of product, not to cure, but to become a part of your routine that helps keep you maintained, regulated. If it's not sleeping on a better routine, making sure that you are getting hydration, enough water. I have had days where I just haven't drinking any water, and that's when I know I'm very stressed because I haven't done that since childhood. And so, even though that's been decades ago, when I'm going through something new that is very stressful for me, I recognize it's really easy for me to just throw away a healthy habit. And I have to become very conscious. I have to intentionally, every day, make sure that I reattack that goal to make sure I'm in line, because that's what I want. I want to take care of my body. I want to be healthy. I want to give my body the best things that I can give it on my budget, on my schedule, on my time, without having to have $1 million in my pocket. It's just what I want. I want to exercise because I like how movement makes my body feels. I like how if I've had something stressful and then I go exercise, even though I can think about that problem again, the stress about it is never in the same intensity. Finding a space where you can release is vital, and I really encourage everyone to have that space and develop it, take care of it, and maintain it. I want to talk about the secret things that make it where confusion and hesitation and uncertainty and bringing other people in to kind of see what they say. These are the first signs to things maybe falling apart. And it sounds really nasty, and of course that's not what you want. However, this may be the best thing to happen. Main goal is not to encourage people to cut people off and to start again with new, do this and you'll never have this issue. My goal is to help people recognize when a friendship is not in the same alignment. You may have outgrown, you may have shifted, you may no longer agree, you may no longer feel that way, whatever the case is. But learning how to be different, to give yourself that allowance to be different, and to see different ways that you can find common ground, knowing that things will not be the same. So if you had, you were friends and you guys were very close, you spoke every day, you guys went every Wednesday at this lunch spot because that's just your thing. In 2025, an outgrown friendship could simply mean it's summertime, right? This is why I waited to put out this series, because at the end of the day, summer is for fun, being outside. The world literally stays lit longer. Literally, the sun is out longer. The temperature is made for deliciousness. The flowers, everything's beautiful. The vibe is enjoyment. The vibe of summer is fun. And so it's really easy to understand the girl groups that, they're always at brunch, or they're always at an event. They're always at, socialites, because that's what summer is for. And so the outgrowing comes when, even though you and your friends may be talking about how you all want to, you're ready for a relationship, you're ready for kids and marriage, the way we're going about obtaining those things, that is where people begin to separate. And so, although we say birds of the same feather flock together, it's just so funny. We'll learn that perfect example. Oh, I think I love using the word perfect. Okay, so that example really shows that even though we're all expressing that this is a goal that we have, the truth is that group of girls will go about that goal in different ways. And so you may find that when summer comes around and you are ready to start having a little bit more fun, that may include dating and just being a bit more casual and fun and chatty, like a chatty patty. And that may start with the rosters of sneaky links and all these good, fun, risky, toxic type of relationships. You'll know when a friendship is ready for change because that typical way you guys normally do just doesn't work for you anymore. And you'll find yourself maybe trying to fight, maybe trying to change them, maybe trying to change the direction of where the group is going. And I think that's a natural response. But what's more important is for you to recognize when you are now trying to go a different direction. And taking that or having that courage to make that leap by yourself, having that courage to, okay, now I'm going to have to find a new group of girls who, now I may be into plants, so I need to find people who are into plants. And so you may need to join groups or be around events and social lights that are into not only plants, but traveling to go see the plant shows and traveling to different states to see their gardens, because that is something that you can relate to. And so you may not be obsessed with plants like they are, but you're no longer in that old space where you want sneaky links. And so no one is telling you to now just go get obsessed with plants. I am saying to go dabble into what that plant group is, and you might like them. And as you dabble into that new plant group, and because you don't want to overwhelm yourself by trying to get involved and see these people and talk to them every day, you might find another interest that you also have, and you'll get involved in that group. And it's a slow process that you do as you get to know yourself, and even as you join that plant group and maybe a painting class, you may find out that you really don't like the plants as much as you thought, but this painting class really helps you express, and it really shows your personality, so you continue with that and you drop the plant class. So there's all these different ways you can go about when we talk about change. It doesn't have to be this dramatic cold turkey over here and 100% dive in over here. I just think that's a very overwhelming, especially for people who have complex trauma, especially for people who have had a long-standing trauma, just because you've been in this one particular routine. And so you may have tried the dramatic starts and the force, I'm going to throw everything that I used to do away and I'm going to start doing this at 100%. That can be really difficult. And so I like to encourage real life change, which is small and steady and constant and consistent. And over time, when you look back, you will see the results because you have put the work in. You have put that drive and the effort. And if the results that you were looking for aren't seen, you'll be able to identify areas of, okay, even though I said I was going to exercise for 5 days, I've seen that over the last 3 weeks, I've only exercised twice a week. What is causing me to miss the other 3? And you'll really get to sit down with yourself and say, well, it's because every time I go to that class on Tuesday, the instructor, they just something about them, whether it's how they talk to you, they speak to you, it irritates you, and then you get thrown off and you can sit into your just all these reasonings of what you're going to say or what you're going to do and it just, your blood's boiling, you're at a 10, and you have to find out how to work yourself down, how to keep yourself regulated, whether that means no longer going to that person's class or trying a different time or taking Tuesday off and adding Saturday into your 5-day workout plan. Like, just getting into the habit that when something difficult comes up, you have the power to find an option, a new way, a plan that fits you. But keeping in friendships that do not support you will hinder, will slow. It is just as bad as a bad partner or, relationship. They're draining you. It's no good. And so take that courage, take that leap. I don't care if they have been your ride or die for 20 years. We all know. Didn't we watch the movie with Selena? Her best friend. It was her best friend. Shoot, I'm a believer. Didn't we read about Jesus? His own brothers. We know the story of Cain and Abel. We're still talking about Cain and Abel today. I just watched this Netflix series, which I love. Oh, it was called The Sandman. Oh, it was so good. It just ended. Anybody watching The Sandman on Netflix? Let me know how you felt about it, because I just really thought it was really good. And just let me not do any spoilers. But there are certain principles of lives that kind of just highlight to us that if you go down this path, it just, no matter how much you may convince yourself, no matter how much they may try to convince you. Let's talk about the mean girl, the high school. Oh, that's a better sphere to put this in, because friendship is firstly defined by siblings. Siblings are the first type of relationship that relate to our friends. That siblings are the first to resemble what our friendships look like, because they are they're around our age. They're more relatable than adults are. And so when we look at high school or any type of school setting, we have those main categories of the people who are very cool, the people who are very athletic, the people who are very into education, very smart, the people who are bullies, the people who are very quiet and are always targeted. There are all these subgroups that we are defined in, which none of us like. Most of us, I mean, unless you're, I guess, the popular people, and the popular people, there's so many information on those groups. But anyway, regardless of what group that they tried to force you in or that you may have wanted to be in, it is just the first taste of friendship dynamics. Groups are, we know now based off study, you are grouping up with friends who carry the same energy of your home life. So if your home life is very jokey, or you like to be jokey, that is your coping mechanism, you're going to attract and hang out with people whose mechanism is also jokey and etc. If you are a leader, you like to have groups, you like to have set the path, set the way, you're also going to group up with people who have that same mentality. And so that is why friendships are so wonderful, because they're healthy. They, give you ideas. They challenge you. They support you. They do all these beautiful benefits, because as long as you guys are on the same like-minded way, things typically work. So when things are becoming challenging, you always have to go back to that common ground of, well, have we just changed our goals, or is this a challenge that I may have to support you in as you're overcoming something? Is this something where we're going through something and I need support, and I just need you may be having to give understanding beyond what you normally do. But to make sure that you have a common ground where both people feel respected, both people should feel heard, supported. And the worst type of friendships are the ones where you don't feel those things and you're carrying on. If that is you, if that is an experience, I think it's very common. I've had it before. It's a growing pain that we all must experience and conquer. Just don't be determined or discouraged, but be more inclined to dig deeper to you. Be more inclined to look at where are the areas where you may have grown that you haven't noticed. And so what is unhealthy is having that painful experience of you may have grown up not having the appropriate attention. Neglect is so broad, but it is beyond just being physically harmed. It's beyond the poverty of, you didn't have enough space, you didn't have enough food, you didn't have the clothes, you didn't have the parents, it's beyond the physical things that we see, but we're all being forced to recognize how neglect affects the mental in terms of developing your social skills, developing how you cope with things that are difficult or hard. If you were able to develop emotional intelligence or how to read the room, sometimes because our past was so difficult, we aren't able to tell or we aren't able to respond quickly or make the appropriate response, because nervous system, it's real. It's our body is a huge program. I don't get too deep into science because if you ask me, science proves God. But we have to address those things. And so if you were not able to have a proper space, 2025, they're going to make you think that, we had all the tools all along. We know that's not true. So don't beat yourself up. Don't fall into that, oh, well, I should have been gotten this. Please. They're lying. They know dang well that there are borders, gatekeeping, barriers, real challenges and hurdles that people face every day that is designed to keep them downtrodden. So I commend everyone who, despite knowing that fact, continues to strive to find some enjoyment of their lives, to find some peace, believing in the promises of God, which said that we still get to have peace and joy regardless of all this evil that is going to spew up around us. We are just trying to make sure that we are involved, okay? I mean, we're still waiting for answers about this Epstein stuff. This has been years. This is ridiculous. So enough about friendships. I just wanted to test the waters, give some information about what we're gonna go through over these next few weeks of the Secretly Sick series. And I just hope you guys join in with me and find some relief, is encouraged. If you have been feeling like it is just, it ain't gonna get no better, girl, stop. No, it's not the time for that. I think you're just a little disconnected. I think your life is calling for you to meet new people, connect in new ways that are healthier. It sounds like you've healed, honey. It sounds like you have overcome something and your body is ready to take it to the next level. So keep your marriage hopes, keep your friendship goals, keep your children goals. I know it's crazy out here, but that don't mean we can't enjoy our lives and love it. So I'm going to wrap it up until the next one, guys. But until then, I just want to say take care. Okay, bye.